Hey everybody, welcome to the live tonight. As I was letting everybody know, I do have a new channel. It is Industry Gossip with two P's. So I did put the link in the chat, but just add two P's when you go ahead and put the um, when you go ahead and search for the channel. So let's go ahead and get started. One moment. So I'm not sure if you guys heard about the three men that went missing in Detroit, Michigan. They were all supposed to be aspiring rappers. So we're just going to go ahead and tap into that.
The mysterious disappearance of three men in Detroit. They were on their way to a party on the city's east side over the weekend and haven't been seen since.
And now police are searching for Dante Wicker, Armani Kelly, and Montoya Givens. Victor Williams joins us live with the search. Victor, what do we know so far?
Yes, Devin and Kimberly, they were actually supposed to be performing at Lounge 31 over on Gratiot. Unfortunately, they never even made it to the scene to begin with. And ever since, the mother of one of those young men have been frantic.
I'll never see that beautiful smile.
Lori Kemp and Taylor Perrin can't help but think the worst after the disappearance of son and fiance, 28-year-old Armani Kelly, also known as Marley Whoop.
I just pray that he's out there somewhere. We need him.
On January 21st, he, along with two others now identified as Dante Wicker out of Melvindale and Montoya Givens, were supposed to be performing at Lounge 31. Sadly, they never made it.
He was trying so hard to promote his rap. And do you know how guilty I feel that my son picked up these two other young men?
His mother traveled all the way from Oscoda tracking the vehicle Armani was driving using OnStar, taking matters into her own hands.
The next day, I went by myself and canvassed on Gratiot and stayed there till dusk, passing out flyers.
The vehicle popped up in several locations before being recovered from an apartment complex in Warren. Authorities from four cities, Oscoda, Melvindale, Warren, and Detroit, have now been working on the investigation. Sadly, Lori and Taylor say so far, they feel they've been failed by all.
Nobody wanted to believe us when the cops had the car and they wanted us to pick it up. They're like, oh, he's probably just with another woman inside of one of these apartments.
But the Detroit Police Department that's now taking the lead says it's doing everything in its power to find the three men alive.
We've got license plate readers, we've got green light cameras, and I'm confident that using those tools will help us get the answers that these families deserve.
Realistically, Lori says she understands there's a chance she'll never see her son alive again. At this point, she just wants closure.
I want to lay him to rest and try to move on.
So sad. We know that Armani was recently released from prison, but he had been working very hard to turn his life around, even starting classes over at Alpena Community College. So if anyone is watching and they know about his whereabouts, you guys are asked to contact the Detroit Police Department as soon as possible. Reporting live tonight, Victor Williams, Local 4.
Okay, Victor, thank you.
Okay, y'all. So let me get to these comments real quick. Okay, so yeah, Atlanta Sense 82. I did put it, add two P's to it. So y'all, for my new channel, I did drop the link, but I forgot to add the second P in gossip. So you can just add the second P and then you can subscribe from subscribe that way. I'm also going to drop my Lisa Ray video on that channel. So make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe and tune in. Hey Suzanne C, how you doing tonight? What's up? What is it? Oh, San Andreas X. How you doing tonight? Freemason numbers all over this story. Yes, it is. Hey, B721. How you doing tonight? Hey, Chantel Washington. Oh, we got some truth tonight. And I just want to, because everybody have, on this story, everybody have, their own opinions about what happened is so much that was released in this story that, and it's just something I found out today because I wasn't even going to touch on this story for real. But I have found out something today that made me want to go ahead and touch on this story. So hold on, because I got another video. I'm not sure if you guys are already seen the live yet. But hold on one second. And how y'all doing tonight? What y'all doing before we go ahead and tap in? It's gonna be really quick. Let me see something. 1 minute. How everybody doing tonight? Okay. All right, we about to get to it.
Man, what's the deal with y'all, man? What's good? Nigga just tapped it in right quick with y'all, man, trying to see what's up. But man, for real, I'm really trying to figure out like is everybody not we just not gonna say if niggas talk, man. If you know if a nigga talk, we just not talk about it. That's what we doing now. You know what I'm saying? For that shit feel like the way. For some of these niggas be out here right in your face. And you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie, I just be seeing shit, bro. I seen some stories. I'm like, man, we gonna keep playing like this, dog. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? If anybody take that shit personal, that shit what it is. You feel me? I don't be feeling that shit. Niggas be out here like I don't get it. Y'all niggas be seeing them motherfucking stories, man. I know y'all be seeing these niggas, man, pretending like, oh, that nigga standing up on this case. Like, bro, that nigga bug. We gonna keep that shit a secret? Like, what's going on? I don't fuck with it. And all these niggas, man, talking about like, I don't know, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I just be seeing that shit, bro. I be seeing that shit, and I'm like,
Now, in case some of y'all don't know, and you just hip to this story again, this is a story about the three Detroit men that was supposed to be performing at Lounge 31, but never made it to that venue, and no one heard from them ever since then. I mean, the phones were cut off. All three of their phones were cut off. No one had any way. The only way they could track him was because he was driving his mom car that night, and she tracked him via OnStar. But still, when they got there, was no one. I mean, there was no one to be found. So this is one of the guys that went missing. His name is Marley Watt, and he's a Detroit rapper as well. He no, not Detroit rapper. He's from Lansing, but he went live a couple days before he was due to perform at Lounge 31, which is on the east side of Detroit. So this was the live he did. Now, mind you, he was in prison for robbery for 7 years.
I can't fuck with it, man. We gonna just keep this shit a secret. The nigga I'm talking about, right? I ain't gonna lie to y'all niggas, man. Me and Dog ain't really had no issues like that. But the nigga I'm talking about, specific nigga, man, I told him that shit in prison. You feel me? We was on the yard together, you know what I'm saying? I looked at him and I put that nigga on the floor like, I ain't got your paperwork, but I know what I know. And that nigga tried to put it on another nigga. He tried to put it on another nigga. The nigga named Debo Money. But shit, there you go, right there. I'm talking about Debo, man. That nigga, he try to put it on Debo Money though. And I know Debo Money, man. Like, I know this nigga. You know what I'm saying? That nigga was the first nigga ever put me in the studio. I know Debo Money. Like, that's my nigga, bro. I fuck with Debo. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie, he ain't holler back at me since I've been home. You feel me? I popped at him a couple times, but that nigga ain't hit me. And no bullshit, that nigga got one song on one of his mixtapes from back in the day. I ain't gonna lie, that nigga stole my song. I wrote that bitch in the county. We was in Eaton County in Max. I wrote that song, and that nigga, he had re-rock my shit. He re-rocked my verse. And I got nothing but respect for that nigga though, because that nigga was rapping his ass off. He really made me sit down and focus when I went to prison. But this nigga Debo,
I ain't gonna lie. I was listening to some of his videos before I did my live, and I'm like, he was for sure talking way too much. Like, I'm not sure how long it's been since he's been out, and I don't know if he know how society and everything works now, but he went live and said so much stuff that he probably shouldn't have said. And then you could tell when he said old boy name, the shit slipped out. Like he did not. He had to catch himself, but by then it was too late. So you got to finish telling the story. But I don't understand why he just didn't stop. Like I don't understand.
Eastside Debo, light skin, Damian Lane, Rah brother, 2014. Me and Rah, and Gohan, all of us was in what's that shit called? Downtown in the circuit or the district, whatever the little one is, across from the Capitol. We was all in that bitch. And nigga, when we was in that bitch, Rah was like, yeah, bro, that's my brother, but he bald. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if them niggas gonna remember me. I wasn't nobody. You know what I'm saying? I was nobody. I was just Northside, Turner Street Moral, you feel me? But that nigga did tell me that shit. I knew it. Cause everybody in the streets, if you played the streets a little bit, you heard about that shit when Dog had did what he did, man. We was in prison in level 5. He a peace stone, he moving. Nigga, I know some lords. I fuck with it. It's a nigga named Crazy K. Just went back to the joint. You know what I'm saying? He came home and banged straight out. Caught a carjacking and shit. And that's like his 3rd double back, nigga, on everything. So, bro, Crazy K across the hall from me. This is the first time I ever wrote a book. That nigga Crazy K had the idea, the plot for it. I wrote that bitch up. And Crazy K said he fucked with Damien. He fucked with Debo. I said, oh, okay. Well, I'm like, well, listen, you fuck with Dog, I'm going to be a honey. I'm going to just put the shit out there. This is what I know. Any nigga from Lansing will tell you the exact same thing. We know all this shit happened. You feel me? We all know it happened. I just don't got the paperwork because, nigga, I was in the world when it happened. I ain't give a fuck, nigga. It was a clear, everybody knew. You saying any Lansing nigga that was out there in the streets, no. You know what I'm saying? Because that nigga had a lot of love, a lot of respect before he did that shit. For real. You know what I'm saying? We was little niggas. You know what I'm saying? I used to kind of look up to the nigga a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And my nigga Skull was there. My nigga Skull was there. I told that nigga that shit, man.
Like he just saying everybody's name. He really saying everybody's name.
Let me see this shit. That nigga Skull was there, nigga. Yeah. I was there when that shit happened, nigga. That nigga Skull was in that bitch. Nigga, Dog had said he tried to bite down on me on the big yard. The nigga ain't want no smoke. Hey, you remember that shit, Skull?
Go ahead, talk your shit.
I'm saying, you remember that shit? Remember the nigga Debo from my way?
Yeah. With the
that nigga. Yeah, what I put him on the floor. I don't know if you was in the hole with me. Well, I put that nigga on the floor because he told. I seen this nigga. They posted stories for that nigga. Like, oh, that nigga, he's standing tall on this case. Like, nigga, you already told. It don't matter, nigga. This shit don't matter, man.
Money. OG Blood Money, nigga. What's up?
Oh, I ain't never ran into you, bro.
Yeah, I ain't ran into you neither. I know you though.
Yeah. I was yeah, I remember you. I never ran into you.
Straight blood. I'll be that red.
I already know that, nigga.
Yeah, I'll be that red, boy. Out this bitch.
What's wrong with you?
Be you out, blood.
I appreciate it, nigga. I'm happy to see everybody out this bitch.
Everybody out. We all back from the same.
Man, the same. This nigga Skull, man, his bitch bossed his life up. This nigga taking helicopter rides and shit.
Poncho, what's up though?
You was on helicopter?
That nigga was on helicopter rides.
I was too. It was first, bitch.
Hey, listen, and whoever the camera person was, they was doing their job. That nigga played up.
Straight the fuck up.
That nigga did that. He came home and got on the helicopter. That's some real nigga shit.
No, you came home and did the podcast though. That's some real nigga shit.
The podcast? Oh yeah, I did.
Do it on
Every time seven.
do your thing, nigga.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I gotta keep running that bitch though. I be feeling like I'm falling behind.
I got some new shit
Yeah,
out. That shit, listen.
just keep going what you
Hey,
doing. Niggas gonna
hey,
start paying attention to that
what's
shit slowly
his
but
name?
surely. You get the
Hey,
feel.
Sco, you say man, I'm trying to pull up at your shit or some shit, cause I'm gonna end up picking up Jud, man.
I'm gonna say East
You
Warren
said
shit.
who?
I said I'm gonna end up picking up Jud.
You about to when you come down there?
Yeah,
You gonna pick up Jude?
yeah. 9 times, man, I ain't gonna leave that nigga sitting around.
Nigga, pick him up then. Shit,
I got
you can pick him up. You gonna get there.
No, I'm saying, to be real with you, bro, that's my baby. I love Jud, but I don't think he got the money to get in nowhere. So I'm gonna just
Man,
pay for
bro,
Jud.
fall back on my man.
That's
Yeah,
my
nigga,
baby.
what type of time you on, man?
Man, listen, ain't no solider nigga than Jud. He just be broke.
Man,
But what are you?
Huh? Broke as fuck, nigga, but I'm good at balancing my budget.
All I know is this, dog. If you ain't on this, bro, leave me alone, bro.
What is it?
Call of Duty, bitch. Get on it.
I don't be playing. I don't got time to be
I don't play
playing
neither,
games,
man. I'm
nigga.
talking about real
I'm
black
outside with it, nigga.
I'm talking about real
I'm
black.
playing real life, nigga. I'm not on the game with this real life shit.
Real black.
Nigga, this not GTA, nigga. I'm playing real life. I'm out here making moves and shit, nigga. I ain't got time for that. Talking about
all blackouts over here,
this
bro. We don't
nigga.
do nothing else.
You still playing shoot 'em up bang bang?
No, in real life though. That shit really became real life.
Oh man. These niggas are shit.
We gonna touch the shoot 'em up bang bang money too. So you gonna put that on your next team? I mean on your next
so,
you know,
if you
on your podcast.
And it's crazy because it's like, why he's sitting up there laughing and playing and shit. They was not playing with his ass. They was not playing. But I don't know if y'all was looking at like every time. It just looked like every time they was saying certain stuff, they was looking at somebody. I only played this video because, like I said, there's different sides to the story. Some people were saying that, they got set up because of him. He was on live saying, certain stuff that he wasn't supposed to say, and the other two guys were just at the wrong place at the wrong time. But then there was another story that came up that said that Jug, which is one of the other guys that passed away, he was locked up for 10 years because he had robbed Marvin Winans. Okay? So, let's see. Hold on, let me go to that video. So they had robbed him back in 2012, and they had robbed him, or Jug had robbed him, because the other two guys that died, they all met in prison. So I don't think they didn't know each other before prison, but I guess they end up linking after prison. Like I said, they were all Detroit rappers, but one of them, which is Jug, is the one that served the 10-year sentence because he robbed Marvin Winans. But I just want y'all to listen to the story because I'm like, I don't know if it's me, but something just sounds so fishy. Like, first of all, I'm just gonna let y'all listen first. Hold on.
Over Pastor Marvin Winans being carjacked and robbed.
7 Action News reporter Tom Waite joins us live. And Tom, we watched you talk to Pastor Winans just right after this happened. He seemed pretty disappointed by it.
Disappointed indeed, Stephen and Diana, but he says, it doesn't matter who you are in this city, anyone can be a victim, but he says he's not going to be afraid in his own neighborhood and in his own city. Take a live look. There are a small army of police officers and detectives here at this gas station at Lidwood and the Davison in Detroit. They are trying to piece this all together. As we have been here for the past hour, we have some other video to show you. Basically, Pastor Winans came here to this gas station on his way somewhere else. He got out of his car, went inside to pay. When he came back out, he says two guys started to beat and rob him.
Pumping the gas, aware, looking. One guy wouldn't walk completely around the gas tank, and I knew he was there. And I said, this really ain't gonna happen. This is not gonna go down, And it went down. The guy just stepped up, hit me. I backed up. Then the other one came from around, and I just started calling on the name of the Lord.
Did they knock you to the ground? I mean, they tore up your pants.
They knocked me to the ground, scarred up my knees, and they were trying to get it. and then they went to kicking me.
Tore your pants off.
Well, they can't be worn again. They trying to get the money out of my pocket and just, tore the pants up. I said, I'm not going to be afraid of us. I'm not going to be afraid of our sons and
do you think they knew who you were?
I don't think they did. I really don't think they did. And if they did, it didn't make much difference.
And back out here live, as I mentioned, of course, they stole his Infiniti SUV, dark purple in color. It's a four-door SUV. The license plate at this point, we believe, is 0DRT73. And I'll read that again in just a few minutes. Also, they stole his Rolex. They stole his cell phone. And I don't know if you could tell in that video, but his face was cut. He had some other bumps and bruises. He's going to get checked out. But obviously, the worst of it is over. He's going to be okay. Of course, Pastor Marvin Winans, such an incredible legacy in this city. Most recently, of course, he spoke at Whitney Houston's funeral and got national attention for that. But of course, everyone knows this man. He has a legendary past, a legendary family. And as you heard him say, this is not something that he's going to let deter him from, coming through his city, coming through his neighborhoods. He knows this community. He knows the people who live here. And he says this is not something that will stop him in the future. Reporting live in Detroit, I'm Tom Waite, 7 Action News.
All right, Tom, thank you.
Hey, Tom, by the way, is there any surveillance video of this attack? Do we see it in action?
Yeah, we think they have surveillance video right now at the gas station. I think there are cameras mounted on the inside and also on the outside. Right now, they have not released any of that. It's not clear if they're looking at it right now, trying to go over to make sure that they know what they have. I do know those two guys are out there somewhere. They are looking for two men who did this. Of course, if that surveillance video is released, we'll bring it to you immediately. And Pastor Winans thinks there may have been more than two people involved because there was like 10 people inside that convenience store that may have been lookouts. Back to you.
All right, Tom, whatever the case, this just has to stop. We do appreciate it.
No. I read an article where it said that before he pulled up to the gas station, he seen 12 people standing outside. About 12 people standing outside. So first of all, me personally, I'm not about to go in that neighborhood. 12 people standing outside. I'm not going to that gas station. Then you said about 4 or 5 people came up behind you and, and robbed you and beat you. But they were unarmed. So he only had a couple scratches and bruises. And then I think they had did something to his finger. But it wasn't nothing like where they fucked him up real bad. Now, this is all alleged. Okay, so I already gave y'all the first scenario with old boy Marley. Now this is the second scenario, but I'm just going to say it's all alleged because I don't know. But I got this article. Hold on one second. Because some of this, so I don't know if it's just me, but when this unarmed robbery, do you get more time or do you get less time versus it being armed robbery? Because I was confused on why they was given so many years for unarmed robbery. But hold on. So this is one of the guys that was that robbed him as well. It says 3 men charged for carjacking of Detroit pastor and gospel singing icon Marvin Winans were sentenced Thursday. Now, this all happened May 16th, 2012. Detroit residents Montoya Givens and Christopher Moorhead, both 20, and Brian K. Young, 18, of Macomb County's Clinton Township, are charged in the case. Young apologized to Winans' family and his own family for the stress he had caused them. I was raised better than this, he said. He was sentenced to 5 to 20 years on a conspiracy to commit carjacking charge and 5 to 20 years on a robbery charge. His sentences will be served concurrently. So I'm like, is it me or is that a lot of time for? But I'm like, I don't know, because of who it is why they got so much time, or is that normal time for unarmed robbery? But then they said conspiracy to commit robbery too. And then it says Moorhead was sentenced to 4 to 20 years on a carjacking charge and 4 to 15 years on a robbery charge. He will get credit for 174 days already served, and his sentences will be concurrent. Givens was sentenced to 6 to 20 years on a carjacking charge and 5 to 15 years on a robbery charge to be served concurrently. But Givens, which is Jug, which is one of the guys that died, he actually ended up serving 10 years for the robbery. But they said that he took, they took his car, Rolex, cash, and credit cards. But then let me see if I don't know if it's this article. Now, mind you, Marvin Winans is pretty known. He's been nominated for multiple Grammys. His family is really big, like CC Winans, BB Winans, Mario Winans, who was signed to Bad Boy, and we all, if y'all don't know the backstory on Mario Winans, um, I suggest y'all do some research because they messed him over too. But it was I can't believe I just read a article where one of the guys that was sentenced said that he wasn't even a part of the robbery. He was just standing there. He was like, he sold weed and he didn't even think that, Marvin Winans was there to get weed. So he left it alone. This is what he said in the article. So he left it alone. And then he said that he ended up only going to steal $60 from him. So he only took $60 and he got all of this time for that. So I'm like, I don't know if it's me or if some of this stuff don't make sense. Now, mind you, the same year that happened, he was nominated for a Grammy in February of 2012. And then Whitney Houston died in February. They was having that party, the party over her while she was dead. And then a couple months later, this happens. And then I also read an article where he was being sued because he had a housekeeper or a cleaning lady that was working for him and found out that she was making $18,000 one year and told her that she owed the church 1,800 of that. And when she refused to get him the money, I guess he said for tithes, and then he was making them get him money for birthday parties and stuff to give people gifts, just all type of shit. I'm like, these churches really be corrupt, like corrupt as hell. Like they not there to help you. And the Winans been in so much shit like for years, like all of them. Then been in something different. So I'm like, I don't know. But I'm like, why would he wait 10 years? But then again, everything is just not adding up. Like one picture, let me see if I can pull that picture up. A jug throwing up the sixes. Hold on, y'all. So let me know what y'all think so far. Did y'all already see this story? Have y'all already been following this story? Hold on. My bad. Let me know what y'all think. Okay, hold on. My bad. I'm like out of everything. And then if you watch the news, this picture and another picture of him doing it again, but he only did it with one hand. They just keep showing these pictures. I'm like, they don't have no other pictures of him. Like this is the only picture that they have. So I don't know what happened with these guys, but like I said, some people were saying that, it was because of his live and what he was saying and how he was exposing a lot of things that happened in prison. And then some people were saying that they used him to set him up because of what happened back in 2012. I'm not sure if that's true. But we all know with the industry, because Winans is a part of the industry deeply. His whole family is deeply into the industry. You never know with them. And then for them to get all of those years just for unarmed robbery, unarmed robbery, sorry, y'all. and they didn't even really do that much to him. But because of his status, he probably put the word in. So I don't know what happened. I just wanted to put this story out here because it was just like once I found out that he was tied in with that and that situation had happened, and where they was found at was in maybe like in Highland Park. And I was watching another video where they was saying like the gas station that they robbed him at back in 2012 is only like 6 minutes away from the apartments that they were found at. And the apartment that they were found at was like an abandoned apartment, and they was found in the building. I mean, in the basement, frozen, and I guess it was rat infested. Like so, it was hard for them to investigate at first when they first got down there. They also found the car that he was driving, Armani was driving, through a 15-year-old. A 15-year-old was driving the car after this happened and said that he received a phone call to pick the car up. So after they caught the 15-year-old with the car, that's when, they took him in, and that's when they end up finding all three of their bodies at the building. So I'm not sure what happened. Like I said, this do sound like some creepy shit because before all of that happened, they were supposed to perform at Lounge 31 and they never showed up because they received a call saying that it was canceled due to the equipment being messed up. So I'm like, I don't know if that was their way to, I don't know. This story is crazy as hell. What y'all think about this story? Because I'm like, he got married this year. Who got married this year? Armani? I was wondering which Detroit celeb was connected to this. Yes, it's always something. It's always something. And I'm like, Detroit is not exempt from nothing. Like something is happening. It's everywhere. Detroit has one of the biggest Masonic temples in the world with over 1,000 rooms. You shed and light in them dark closets. Thank you. No, it was last year. It's not a coincidence they're connected to Marvin Winans. That's what I was saying. And I'm like, and then the way that he was acting in the video, like, it was just, I'm like, that's why I had to do the video because I'm like, maybe it's just me. But again, I do a lot. I watch, like y'all watch me. I watch a lot of videos on YouTube too. Like I'm subscribed to a couple people that expose the industry and they break down videos better than me sometimes. But I was watching another video and they had brought that up, and that's what made me, because I didn't even hear about that before today, and that's what made me look into it. And then I started seeing how corrupt that family was and how deep into the industry they is. I was like, yeah, maybe this is some form of connection. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but it for sure didn't make no sense. And then let me see the story with the housekeeper. That was even worse. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. Like he just as corrupt as everybody else in the industry for real.
Was forced to donate 10% of her.
Check out this video on Pastor Marvin Winans out of Detroit, and I will be back with my commentary.
Our other top story at this hour at 5:30, a housekeeper for the Winans family taking them to federal court.
In this lawsuit, she says she was forced to donate 10% of her salary to the Winans Perfecting Church, and that's not all. Rod Maloney got his hands on that lawsuit, and he says this is a look at a stunning allegation inside of it, Rod.
The woman who filed this lawsuit against Pastor Winans had her entire life enmeshed in perfecting church, so much so that she said it was getting too close for comfort. And when she couldn't afford to pay all the things that the church wanted from her, she ended up fired. In 2015 and 16, Lakaya first worked as a housekeeper at the Marvin Winans Academy of Performing Arts and then at the Perfecting Church itself. She also lived in this church-owned home on Nottingham in Detroit. She claims the church charged her $500 a month to live here and improperly profited from that relationship. She only made $18,000 a year and claims that the church expected her to pay utilities at the house, including the burglar alarm, which was another $250 a month. She said she had no extra spending money, and when the church came looking for more money, that's when she blanched and refused to pay. Her lawsuit claims the church manipulated time clock records to avoid paying her for overtime that she worked, had an unlawful time docking policy for late arrivals, deducted annual kitchen dues for using a church kitchen, and ordered kickback wages, essentially requiring employees to contribute money to gifts for church supervisors. Harris claims Cynthia
That's
Flowers
crazy.
Williams, a church administrator, told her, quote, "I know you have $10 floating around in your little world. You just don't want to give
Like,
it up.
what?
Everybody
Who
has to
the
give to
fuck
this,"
are
end
you to
quote.
tell me?
Harris claims a threat to fire her accompanied the
I'm sorry, hold
conversation.
on. Who are you to tell me what I have in my pocket? Not to get your supervisors gifts. Like, I thought that was your job. I don't like how you know I even like them for real. But to tell her that I know you got $10 floating around, like, y'all disrespectful as hell. Disrespectful. And then you fired her when you couldn't, when she didn't want to give. Like, that's why sometimes you gotta watch what churches you go to. And I'm not even gonna lie. You can't just walk up into anybody church. If if that's what you believe in and that's where you want to, don't just go to anybody church. Please don't.
Then she claims Pastor Marvin Winans discovered she wasn't tithing. And she claims he said, quote, "Well, that pretty much terminates your employment with us. You can go ahead and proceed with the exit interview," end quote.
Wow.
Now, we went up to Perfecting Church and we made some phone calls trying to get a hold of Pastor Winans to see if he has anything to say about this. So far, no response to the lawsuit. There is the possibility, since it was only filed on yesterday, that they did not receive their copy of this yet. We'll have to wait and see. Back to you.
Rod, is requiring tithing common in a situation like this?
Well, it can be, especially for employees, but the question becomes, and it's not spelled out in here, whether there was a contract signed that said she had to pay tithe, and so we'll have to wait and see how that comes out.
Very interesting. All right, yeah, Rod, we'll be following it. Thanks.
Okay, so now.
Like this? They disrespectful as hell. What was that man name? What is it? What did he go? No, this is Michael Winans. This is another one of their family members that's just out here doing anything.
Is a star himself, a publisher and a songwriter for superstars like Diddy and Danity Kane. And when Mike Winans isn't hanging out with Billy Bob Thornton or the lead singer from the Pussycat Dolls, Mike Winans is hanging out in churches, convincing people like these he's going to make them rich.
Who did you give the money to?
I gave my money to Michael Winans.
I talked to Mike Winans personally.
He said, in fact, it was his bond that we were investing in.
An investment or a Ponzi scheme? That's what everyone wants to know.
Can I ask you some questions about this investment thing you got going on?
Do you think he's a scam artist?
Most definitely.
It all started about a year ago. A young pastor at this church began convincing his congregation to take control of their lives. Not spiritually, financially. He started holding meetings here to teach his flock how to make money.
The pastor's name is Desmond Ween. The money-making investment he was pushing was a Saudi oil bond that supposedly paid huge dividends. The guest speaker and owner of this bond, Michael Winans Jr.
He did
get up and speak, and basically he said that the crude oil bond is real.
When you think of the Winans, you think of prominent people. You think of people that, and then it's
And good people, church people.
exactly.
Which is
Exactly.
why Rochelle believed Winans and Weems when they said her investment would more than double in 60 days. She invested $1,000. So did Kamisha. And sure enough, they more than doubled their money, reinvested it, doubled it again. According to them, Mike Winans said this was the way rich people got richer.
I started promoting
See
to all
us
my friends and family at that point in time.
And did
getting
they go
down
for
on
it?
the
Oh, yeah,
week.
they went for it.
Kamisha says her word of mouth brought another $60,000 of investment money into the program. Everybody wants to double their money.
How much did you invest?
$7,000.
God
Yeah,
damn.
that's a lot of money.
So
I'm not mad. Oh my God. Why did they do that? Why did they do that? And for y'all who is tuning in, we're talking about Michael Winans. We're talking about the three men that was murdered. We're talking about Marvin Winans. I'm trying to piece it together and just let y'all know that they are not who people think they are.
Desmond Weems is bringing a whole bunch of people into this church who want to double their money on this great sounding deal. But get this, he wasn't the only one.
Desmond Weems is just one of many team leaders. On the other side of town, other team leaders are bringing in more money at different churches.
This is team leader LaTanya Garth.
I have over 800 accounts. I have tons of money, over maybe $2 million of people's money.
Money she says she turned over to Michael Winans for the Saudi oil bond.
Now, there's talk that this is just a Ponzi scam, that people were, the money was coming in and the dividends were being paid, actually were just more funds coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe it?
And people lost a lot. They lost their houses. People lost a lot doing this shit.
Any of that?
I don't believe that there's a Ponzi scam. I really don't feel in my heart Mike would involve me in a Ponzi scam.
So how does Mike Winans explain his investment strategy? This email investors say was sent to the team leaders lays it out. Dear team, you and your clients are connected to my crude oil bond upon an initial donation of $1K to $7K. Their money is not being actively traded because this is a Saudi Arabian market, and your clients' reserves are sitting in my American bank account. I use proof of their funds in my bank account to trade at a higher yielding crude oil trading scale. The bond will yield between 1K and 8K for your clients, guaranteed.
Now, if you don't understand how all this works, you're not alone. I've talked to stockbrokers, financial planners, and even the police. They've never heard of anything like this before, at least anything legitimate. Have you actually seen the oil bond?
I've never seen the bond.
In fact, none of these people who invested has. They all trusted Mike Winans. After all, he's a star and a member of the world-famous Winans gospel family.
He had money, and he just wanted to help people.
And you believe that?
I did.
Keisha refinanced her home and handed over $70,000.
Oh my God.
How much did you invest? All $30,000.
And as you may have guessed, a few months ago, the
$70,000.
dividends stopped coming in. No one has received any money in months. No one can get their money back. No one, even people like LaTanya, who still believe in Mike Winans, has heard from him.
So what is he saying now?
I haven't been able to contact him.
Where's the money now?
I have no idea.
I found Mike Winans coming out of a restaurant.
Can I ask you some questions about this investment thing you got going on? No comment. No comment? Listen, man, I want to show you some stuff here.
He just stole all their money. He
show
need
me
to be
these
driving
oil
a better car
bonds
than
and-
that.
Here, Mike, take my card. Will you call me?
That was about a month ago. Since then, Desmond Weems has disappeared. The church where he used to hold his meetings has been vandalized. The investors are sick.
I'm devastated because I don't know how I'm going to pay that money back.
I still can't believe that this has all happened.
And as for Mike Winans, maybe he's off hanging with his big shot pals. I know he hasn't been to his business offices, his home in West Bloomfield, or his home in Livonia, but others have. His front door is stuffed with notes from his broken-hearted believers.
Hello, I come in peace, but I want to know when will I be receiving my money?
Hey, Mike,
That's
here's one
bold
more
as
note.
hell.
It's from me. You're in the Hall of Shame.
He bold as hell for that. He took all them people fucking money. It's a channel called Dawson Speaks. He's been on YouTube for years exposing pastors for disgraceful acts, and many people are attacking him. These people are brainwashed by pastors. Yes. Yes. Just like a lot of people was like, why was TD Jakes at Diddy party? Like, y'all know why he was there. These pastors, we're not gonna hold you up. They are not saints. They are there for the coin. They are for sure there for the coin. So I don't know, y'all. I was just like, that story about the 3 Detroit men is crazy. I didn't expect that. Hold on, let's see if I had something. I did not expect that shit. And then the way that he was just explaining what happened, like that you fell down to your knees, like then your finger was hurt and you got a couple scratches, but it was 4 to 5 people that did it. And then you pulled up to a gas station with 12 men outside. I'm not gonna say what I wanted to say, but you pulled up to a gas station with 12 men outside. And then one of the guys that, like I said, one of the guys that robbed him is in there for a long time. And he said he wasn't even a part of the robbery. He just ran up and took $60 or whatever. Not $60. So you mean to tell me he getting all of this time for that? But I don't know. Maybe Jug was maybe he was in prison, talking about certain shit, or they all three of them was talking about certain shit and they had to take them all out. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to think of this story. Like, this shit is crazy. Oh, it's not the video. Let me see. All right, let me play this last video. Hold on. Hold on, y'all, my bad. Hold on. So yeah, what y'all think so far? Do y'all think that he was? Because all of this is alleged again, but do y'all think that he was a part of it, or do y'all think that it was because, oh boy, what's his name, Armani was saying certain stuff on the live and exposing snitches, and just he was just saying so much. I was like, wow, he must don't know. But I'm about to play the video and show y'all the update of what they said about the three guys.
Montoya Givens was
Speaking out through her heartbreak.
Montoya Givens was supposed to perform at a club on Detroit's East Side along with 2 friends, but that performance was canceled and they were never seen or heard from again. Sean Lay spoke to Montoya's mother today. Sean, understandably, she's got a lot of questions.
A lot of questions with the killers presumably still out there. And look, this is the first time we're hearing from the mother of Montoya Givens, but we're hearing from her on the phone because with the killers still out there, she's scared.
No,
I feel numb right now.
see, this the other picture where he got him up again.
And
I
it's
told y'all.
sad that people is judging these boys for crimes that they have already committed.
That's the voice of Katina Fogel. She's the mother of Montoya Givens, one of 3 friends, aspiring rappers who went missing on their way to a performance 2 weeks ago. The bodies of Givens, along with Armani Kelly and Dante Wicker, were found late last week in the basement of a vacant Highland Park apartment building. Fogel says she does not know why her son would be targeted. He recently got out of prison doing 10 years for the well publicized carjacking of Pastor Marvin Winans. Fogel says her son was getting his life on track after prison, and now he's gone.
Have you learned anything more about what exactly happened to Montoya?
No, I know what y'all been putting out there. And I have not been watching no news. I have not been on social media. All I know is my son was found in an apartment building and dead. I'm just not hearing about over the airwaves about them finding, I guess, 2 or 3 people that's supposed to be involved. I have no clue.
We're speaking to Fogel on the phone today because she has no idea who killed her son and his friends. She's scared and protecting herself and protecting her family.
What everybody is saying is gang related. I don't know if it's gang related or not. I'm just taking precautions to protect my family.
And with the discovery of her son and her 2 friends in Highland Park late last Thursday night, this really feels like the beginning now of this investigation. Keep in mind, Kimberly Devin, a 15-year-old is being held without bond in Warren with a stolen car of one of the victims, but possibly in connection with the homicides. Others were told being questioned, but MSP says today no charges as of yet, something to keep a very close eye on. We're live tonight. Sean Lee, Local.
So many unanswered questions. Okay, Sean, thank you.
But yeah, that story for sure is crazy. Gotta have a flag on. I did see that. And I also seen where I don't know how everybody feel about that. A lot of people feel like she was sexualizing her son because she was just like she said he was fine. I don't know. Um, a lot of people was mad about that. Let me see. I'm trying to see if I can find a picture. I don't know. I can't find a picture. But yeah, I did see it though. Gotta have a fall guy. Yeah, they gotta have a fall guy. But that story just, and I'm like, it all happened around like, and then you did a eulogy. I guess they would, the Winans or him and his wife or whoever is Whitney Houston daughter godparents. Now we all know what happened with Whitney Houston and how they did her and how she was dead in the bathtub and they was on top of her body and on top of her body or the next floor dancing over her and partying still going on while she was dead. And this was the same time around the Grammys. So I'm like, I don't know if he had to go ahead and do his little humiliation ritual or whatever you want to call it, but that shit didn't make no sense. That probably wasn't Armani in the video, being that each of the men's faces were covered. I'm only suspecting because we all know how they paint narratives and leave us with crumbs and confusion. Are you saying because Armani is the one, the light skinned guy that started the live, the one that was in the live saying all of that stuff about exposing all of them snitches and saying a lot of stuff that was happening in prison? Notice how these stories are always twisted and further prevents people from finding real truth. That's intentional. The parents never cry and are always in on it. I was kind of thinking that too, because it was crazy like how it happened. Armani mom, she kept getting on the news and saying all I want is his body. All I want is his body. Like basically, like she probably already knew. Like it was so long since he been gone. She probably like you know she already know what to expect. But by the way she was saying it, and then after she said the shit, that's when they end up finding the little 15-year-old with the car that Armani was driving, and then that's when I guess he led them to the 3 bodies. But like I said, the 15-year-old said that someone called him and told him to pick the car up. So I'm like, I don't know what the hell going on, or maybe they are just throwing shit in there just to kind of, throw everybody off. And this will be forgotten about next month. We will have a new story to investigate. The elite stop at nothing. Yes, like the MSU shooting. And if y'all notice, a lot of stuff is going on now. Like I said, this is the year of the skull and bones, which means death and danger. I don't know if a lot of you know that, but a lot of stuff is going to be happening this year. And I think that we should just be prepared. A lot of stuff has already been going on or happening, and we haven't even been into the year yet. Like at least 5 or 6 different states has had trail derailments, and then to where they're releasing poisonous chemicals in the air. And then they shooting stuff in the sky saying that, it's UFOs and all of this other shit. Like, it's a lot going on right now. So before I end this video, I just want everybody to be protected, stay protected. I'm gonna do my best to be protected. Keep researching. If y'all not doing do some research, start researching what's going on. We gotta have some type of plan or what we gonna do when shit go down, because believe it or not, some shit is gonna go down, and it's already starting. So y'all have a good night, and don't forget to subscribe to my new channel. I'm gonna drop it in the chat again, and I'll see y'all later. Oh yeah, and I will be posting my Lisa Ray video on there too, so make sure y'all tune in. See y'all.